Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I am on my pump break. So, it is time for my chat and pump. So, I'm usually on speaking very highly of breastfeeding, and I wanted to give you all my experiences from being a new mom to an experienced mom of 5. So, I became a new mom 10 years ago to my first baby. Um, and I had no clue what to expect while breastfeeding. I had no idea of the issues that came along with breastfeeding. And so I suffered um, with each of my babies. I suffered a little bit, except for my last two. So I wanted to talk about some of the issues that I suffered from that inhibited my breast milk and breastfeeding abilities. So, I breastfed all of my babies. I'm going to insert a couple of pictures of um, me doing just that. Me breastfeeding all of my babies, each one of my babies when they were little. Um, so you can see that I am not lying. I'll also put the years that I breastfed them. Um, but as a new mom with my first baby, a new breastfeeding mom, um, I pumped like a dairy cow. I would sit on the couch, and my sister would come and change out the bottles from the bottom of the breast pumps. I had a plate of food right beside me. My mom was in my kitchen sterilizing bottles, and putting the milk inside a gallon bag and putting that inside the freezer. My sister would take the dried sterilized bottles and come to me and put those at the bottom of the pumps, and it went like that. Like I was literally pumping like a dairy cow. So, after getting gallons of milk, a freezer full of milk, I was probably about 5 gallons of milk a day. I'm not sure how much that equates to in ounces, but I was pumping about 5 gallons worth of milk a day. I pumped so much I was able to donate breast milk. I donated to organizations. I donated to um, moms with preemies. I donated to a couple of adoptive families. Um, but I ended up um, stopping pumping, and I was glad that I did pump so much and have so much saved, because I ended up getting thrush. Now, what thrush is a bacterial infection that is almost like a yeast infection that I received on my breast from my baby drinking breast milk directly from me. Sorry, y'all know I'm looking down because I'm a mass producer and I don't want to overflow. So I got thrush from, it's almost like it is a bacterial infection. So, like I was saying, it is a yeast infection that is on your nipples, not like a vaginal yeast infection, but it's a yeast infection that is on your nipples, or it can be in the baby's mouth. Um, so, I'm not sure whether I was given it from my baby or whether I just got it from my mass pumping. Um, but I had it, and what it causes is red, swollen, itchy, irritated, tender, sore, bleeding nipples, cracked, split nipples, um, nothing comfortable. So I had to deal with that. I know I did a video not too long ago where I said that I had thrush and I was answering my door with ice packs on my boobs because like I didn't want anything touching them. The only thing that felt comfortable on them was something cold, an ice pack, something fresh out the freezer, like a bag of peas that could just wrap around my boobs. That was the best thing ever. So, I saw my daughter's pediatrician to see what I could put on my nipples that, wouldn't cause her any harm. And she was just an asshole. That was the worst pediatrician I ever dealt with in my life. I have a whole segment about this one pediatrician, but I'll save that for another day. But I saw her, she didn't give me anything. Um, so I just had to manage it the best way I could. I had to keep my nipples clean. I had to keep them moistened. I used it wasn't like a Vagisil, um, but I did go to a pharmacist to see what I could use. I forget the medication that they said I could use on my nipples. If I think about it, I'll post it up there so you all can see. But overall, um, I recovered from having thrush, and then had baby number 2, probably about 3 years later. So after I had baby number 2, my milk diminished. I wasn't doing a gallon, the gallons a day that I was used to doing. I was living with my in-laws, um, so I didn't really have refrigerator space to mass produce like I was doing. Um, I just like I guess I wasn't really depressed, but I was kind of stressing that I wasn't able to produce the milk that I was used to producing for my child, and so I was worried that she was not going to be able to eat and gain weight like she was supposed to, and things like that. But I stuck to my pumping, I stuck to my breastfeeding, even though I literally only produced what she would eat. Like I power pumped, um, I drank mother's milk, I drank water, and then I only still would produce what my baby needed. And I really feel that that was because I was so stressed. I was not relaxing. I was only worried about what I was or was not making, which would not and definitely did not help my milk production at all. And then 4 months after I had her and was going through those issues, I found out that I was pregnant again with my third baby. And so that kind of put me in a depression, a little depression, like not moping around depressed, but just, oh my goodness, like I'm not even making what I need to be making or how much I should be making of milk with this baby. Now I have to make milk for another baby. So I guess I was more so worried, not necessarily depressed. I was more so worried that my milk would suffer even more. And I had to start over, but I stuck to it. Um, I kept feeding my baby. She did her breast milk. She self-weaned at 7 months, and so when she self-weaned, I just gave her. She got yogurts and different things like that to supplement. And foods. She was doing solid foods. She had her little teeth come in at that point, so I did a little bit better. I was more, I was better knowing that my baby could eat food. Um, So with my third baby, um, I had her and I suffered greatly with postpartum depression, which again depleted my milk and made my milk suffer. And I tried to pump through and do everything that I knew to do, but I just kept stressing that I could not maintain my milk production like I was used to producing with my first baby. It was just that stress that was hindering me. And so that put me into a postpartum depression that I pulled myself out of. And I'm going to do a video on how I overcame postpartum depression without the use of drugs and without clinical assistance. It can be done. Um, but I pulled myself out of the depression. And again, I was only making enough milk to suffice for her at the time. Just enough to make sure she was full. None of my kids were having failure to thrive or weight gaining issues or anything like that. So, I know my milk did what it was supposed to during that time. And thinking back on it, it wasn't that bad. If I could just get the stress out of my life, I would have been good. So, probably about 3 years after that, I got pregnant again. with that pregnancy, I planned a whole natural, everything natural birth. I studied, I looked up different things I needed to do for my natural delivery. What went wrong was, excuse me, she would not turn, so I ended up having to do an ECV. I posted a video on that. I'll post that video below so that y'all can see it. But I had to get an ECV where they physically go in and turn the baby. But after that, I just prepared for my delivery. I hoped my milk was plentiful like it was with my first. I stuck to what I did while I was breastfeeding my first baby, and I had absolutely no problems. I drank my mother's milk tea. I ate my salmon. I ate my oatmeal. I kept myself hydrated with water. Um, oh, another thing, another reason why I had postpartum depression, I lost my breast completely. I know that is expected to happen after 3 kids, but my breast went completely down. I had nothing. Like I could roll them up and put them in my bra, but like I was saying, with my fourth baby, my milk was up. I was able to overproduce like I was doing with my first baby. I had my breast. And that was because I wasn't stressing, so I was able to keep weight up for myself, and I was taking in the adequate amount of water that I was supposed to have. So with that being said, my milk flourished, and I was back at being able to donate milk. I didn't donate as much because my daughter drank quite a bit of milk, but I donated about 900 ounces to one family and about 1,100 ounces to another family, and I just did that through Facebook to people who needed it. So I just helped out a couple of families. I didn't get paid for it, just out of the kindness of my heart, just to help another family out. And so 2 years later, actually, I had my son. Currently, this is now. I had my son. Then the week after I had him, my daughter turned 3. So technically, almost 3 years later, here I am pumping. That's my stomach. That's my stomach. Um, but here I am pumping. I'm mass producing like I was before. Hold on, I can. Sorry about that. So mass producing, as you can see, my milk. Um, So I'm doing everything like I was doing before. I'm mass producing my milk. I'm having no worries, no stresses. My milk is here. It's doing what it's supposed to do. My milk right now all looks like whole milk, just whole fat milk. It does not look like mature milk. It just looks like whole fat milk. It's just that nice thick white that you want to see. Um, but I'm sticking to my tips. I posted my tips and I'll post that below. I'm sticking to my tips. I'm drinking my water. I'm eating my food. I have my snacks. I'm just staying up on my protein and my hydration and everything else. So my tips do work. And I have my boobs, y'all. My breasts ain't go nowhere. They just as full and breast-like as they want to be. So my tips definitely help. They definitely help increase your milk supply. I put out probably about 1,100. I mean 1,100 ounces each time I pump, and my son only drinks about not 1,100 ounces, lower 1,100 ml of milk, and my son drinks about 4.5 ounces. So um, that's probably about 6 or 7 bottles worth of milk for him in one sitting. So I'm doing good. My son drinks about 4.5 ounces, um, probably in an 8 hour time span. He'll probably drink about 3 bottles. So that's about 2 days worth of bottles for my son. Like I'm doing awesome with my milk. So I just wanted to share my milk journey because I know with new moms, everything can be scary, strange, and you don't understand it. And a lot of people kind of shun breastfeeding because it's your breast. Like your breasts aren't supposed to, you know what I mean? Like you're like nobody has breasts. Dogs walk around with their tits hanging on the floor after they've had a puppy. No one's telling them to cover up. No one's making them cover up anything. So I just wanted to get on and share my truths about breastfeeding. How, yes, I post the positives of breastfeeding, but I went through the struggle of breastfeeding as well. So, just another, you're not alone. You can do this. I'm proof of it. I can be a support system for somebody if that's needed, because you do need support if you're going to breastfeed. That support is definitely needed. But if you need support, be sure to email me below. Please, 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 please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more videos like this. More information, more support, more you can do it, more I've been there. Just be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get that too. Thanks for watching. Bye.